If you've ever been told that you're too sensitive, if you feel overwhelmed in loud environments, if you process things deeply and need more alone time than most people, you might be a highly sensitive person. And if you're new to the channel, my name's Vanessa, and this is a safe place for sensitive and intuitive souls to learn how to regulate and trust themselves. And I've been feeling really called to speak more about highly sensitive people, being one myself. And I know that there are a lot of highly sensitive beings in this audience as well. And while it comes with its challenges, there are a lot of great things that come with being highly sensitive. Now, being highly sensitive is not a flaw, it's a nervous system trait. And the term highly sensitive person, or HSP, was popularized in the 90s by psychologist Dr. Elaine Aron. And I've got a wee definition here that I'm going to read off of my notes. Okay, so according to Aron's theory, HSPs are a subset of the population who are high in a personality trait known as sensory processing sensitivity, or SPS. People with high levels of sensory processing sensitivity have increased emotional sensitivity, stronger reactivity to both external and internal stimuli, pain, hunger, light, noise, and a complex inner life. And roughly 15 to 20% of the population are highly sensitive people. So that's a significant number. And I know that a lot of HSPs have been told that they're too sensitive, too soft, too intense, too emotional, too deep. And I want you to know that this is not a flaw. It's just that your nervous system processes things in a different way. So, highly sensitive people process things really deeply. They might be prone to overthinking, overanalyzing, but also there's a lot of deep processing that happens beyond the mental. There's also a very deep empathetic response and strong emotional attunement. So, seeing something on the television or being around someone who is experiencing something heavy or light, an HSP becomes highly attuned to that person and can often take on emotions as if they're their own. There's also the possibility of becoming easily overstimulated. So, a person who is not highly sensitive can walk into a room and kind of get the vibe and be okay to be social and just be able to kind of float through the room and not have it really deeply affect them. An HSP walks into a room and within a couple of minutes is feeling into every person in the room, where they're at, what their body language is saying, taking in all of the smells, all of the sounds, hearing every conversation in every corner of the room. It's just a lot more stimuli that the sensitive nervous system is attuned to. Feeling the temperature, the thickness of the air, it's a lot. And for that reason, a highly sensitive person needs a lot more downtime to decompress. HSPs will often say that being alone in their own space and their own energy is how they decompress and recharge their batteries. Now, for me personally, this is the story of my life. I have always been super sensitive to everything: scents, smells, uh, noise, people's emotions. And I've always been able to read people really well. But maybe it's because of that high emotional attunement, also being able to really read people's body language and understand what's underneath the words and the facade. And not everyone likes to be seen that deeply. So I've had to learn how to be able to hold space and be in, a group setting or even one-on-one with somebody and learn what is mine and what is theirs. And that's another thing for HSPs is so many highly sensitive beings have a hard time with boundaries because of that high sense of emotional attunement and empathy. You can often feel other people's emotions in your own body as if they're your own. And it's a pretty common experience that an HSP will be feeling pretty good and then go hang out with someone who's maybe angry or their energy is staticky and come away feeling those feelings. So we'll talk about this more in another video. But learning how to have those boundaries is so important for HSPs. One of the biggest turning points in my life was, and I can't remember where I picked this up. If I remember, I'll bring it back. But one of the most important things I've learned along my journey is how to check in with myself when I start feeling something suddenly, to ask myself, is this mine? And taking the first intuitive answer, yes or no. And if it's a no, it'll usually just dissolve. But without having that awareness, we can be totally flooded and overwhelmed by so much, even just picking things up in the collective consciousness. And if we are not attuned to our own baseline, then we can be really overwhelmed and flooded really easily. So I will put that aside for another video because that's a whole video in itself, learning how to have those energetic boundaries and regulate. But this is about what an HSP is and what it's not. So highly sensitive person it's not a diagnosis, it's not a disorder. It's not the same as anxiety, although those can overlap. And it's not the same as introversion, although a lot of HSPs are introverts. And it doesn't mean that you can't be strong. It just means that your nervous system is built a certain way and receives stimuli and information from your environment in a certain way. It's not a flaw, it's just how you're designed. So, like I said, learning boundaries is so essential for highly sensitive people because this will allow you to learn how to regulate and how to really tune into what's yours and what's other people's, and learning how to pace yourself, take breaks, and learn the signs of incoming burnout is super important. So we'll touch on these in other videos in this series. It's going to be a series. I think it needs to be. But yeah. And I'm feeling like this is such an important topic to cover over multiple videos because once you understand that your nervous system is wired differently, you stop trying to force yourself into systems that are not built for you. You stop trying to force yourself to do more and to be tougher and to be a way that just doesn't align with how you're built. So if this resonates, you are definitely not alone. Like I said, 15 to 20% of the world's population are highly sensitive people. So over the next few weeks, I'm going to explore this more deeply and get into topics such as boundaries and how to regulate yourself and learn about how your nervous system works, because this is the most empowering thing that I have personally learned and that I want to share with other highly sensitive people, because this is how you can really learn to thrive and to see your sensitivity as the gift and the superpower that it truly is. And that's why we're here. So if this resonates, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notification so you get notified of when these videos come out. There's a link on my website to join my newsletter. I'll also put these out in newsletters, and I'd love to know below how this resonates for you. Let me know in the comments because I love to hear from you all. Sending you so much love, and I will see you in the next one.